What's going on? Mamba Smith, NASCAR's Chief Hype Officer, in the house. Sitting next to Miss Paige at the Kaulig Companies Championship. How are we doing?
I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, so let's talk about your relationship with LA Golf, because I know that's growing and booming. So how's that been?
It's been amazing. So I've been working with them for a little bit now, and the equipment is absolutely incredible, but just being able to create really interesting and fun content with them. Sometimes in golf, it can be a little bit stuffy, and we have done some pretty crazy stuff together, and it's been really fun to, one, be super creative, but at the core of it is really great golf equipment and getting more people to see that.
What's been like the craziest thing that you guys have done?
So their golf shafts are incredible, and they're graphite, and traditionally steel shafts are what most people play because they think they should play steel shafts. And so I had this idea. I was like, shafts, pole, steel, what if I am in a strip club on a steel stripper pole, but I can't work it, like it's not working for me, like I can't figure it out. But then we changed the pole to a graphite LA golf pole, and I'm like spinning away, and they were like, yes. So that was one of the crazier ones, and it was such a fun video that we created, and it was also one to highlight the golf equipment in LA golf, but also just some of the controversy that I face every single day because, you know, I'll wear something like this and they're like, you look like a stripper. And so I was like, let's put it to the test then.
Just send it. Just full send. Yeah. Full spin
send.
That's awesome. Okay, so I always say content is queen.
Yes.
Right? Content is the most important thing.
I love that.
Right? Yeah,
That's
content.
Amazing.
Content is queen. So you've switched from like pro golf
to
now creating content. What has that been like? Because, you know, when you're a pro, you're making content, but this is like a lot different because now you're specialty.
So when I first started doing this, I was trying to play professionally and also utilizing social media to help pay for my golf career.
Right, of course.
And it was so difficult to do that because you're putting half of your attention into content creation and half of your attention into golf, and I really wasn't doing either at the highest level or what I felt I could do. And so I stopped playing golf full time and switched into content creation. And when I first started doing this, I was like, I never thought like I'm gonna be an influencer. That wasn't really a thing. Like no one knew what it was when I started doing this. It was so long ago. And I just said I'm much better suited for this because I never had that like killer instinct to be a great golfer, and you have to be built different to play golf at that level, and I didn't have it. Like mentally, I was weak. I couldn't handle the pressure. It was bad. And with content creation, it's actually a strength to be vulnerable, to show the times that you mess up. And that was also something that I did that was quite unique because when I first started content creation, it was all about how much money you have, where are you going, what are you doing, and it was show. And when I started doing this, because I had no guidance and no one was telling me what to do, I was like, I just failed at this golf thing and I don't know what to do with my life, and like come on this journey as I like figure this all out. And I think people liked that like raw emotion, and I've been able to connect with so many people because I feel like I have been real, and even 8 years later I still will talk about the times that, you know, I do fail and what I've learned and what I need to get better at, and I think people really enjoy that.
I think the hard parts are the best parts. Like once you get through them, you're like, man, that sucked. But you look back on it, you're like, that was so much fun.
Yeah.
You talk about the mental part. So I watched a video. You said that you're a complete head case on the golf course, which is fantastic.
To put it lightly.
To put it lightly. So, which is so funny because we were just talking to AJ Allmendinger, who races for Matt Kaulig on the NASCAR Cup Series. He's a complete head case.
Yeah.
And I can say that because he's like one of my best friends. But he's a complete head case. So when you're a pro at anything, you almost have to be. Like, it's super hard, right? Can you talk about like the mental roller coaster that you're at, where the highs are high, but they can't be too high because then the lows might be too low?
Yeah, you know, it's been refreshing lately to see all these docs coming out. You have the golf one and, you know, Formula One, and you have the tennis one, and you're seeing all these athletes now say, I'm a head case. Like, this is really hard. Like, I watched Marty Fish talk about having anxiety and not being able to play tennis and overcoming that. And that wasn't something that athletes talked about at all until recently. And so I look back and I'm like, maybe I actually could have done this if I knew that I wasn't alone with feeling this type of way when it comes to competing. But it's extremely difficult, and especially like, I'm sure racing and like golf, where you can do it when there's no pressure.
Right.
And that was the hardest thing for me, is I could go out in a practice round and shoot 63, 64 all day long, and then tournament day would come, I don't know how to hold a golf club. I can't hit a shot straight, and I shoot 10, 15 strokes higher, and I'm like, what is wrong with me? I could not do it. And the reason I quit is because the highs didn't outweigh the lows.
Right.
And so I couldn't get through the really hard times, because when I did succeed, it didn't feel good to me. And I think that's what keeps people going in sports is, everyone's going to struggle. Everyone is going to have those days where they want to quit. The fighters are the ones who make it, and the ones that can get through. And I think we all deal with those self-doubt and feeling like we want to quit and being a head case, but that's what sets people apart from, for me, like just playing for fun at a really high level and then playing to win, to compete. And a lot of people just can't handle that.
It's tough. I feel like golf and driving race cars are very similar, because it's just you, right? Either on the course or in the car. You have a team around you supporting you.
I can't drive a golf ball, and I also can't parallel park.
So
maybe, I think it's hand in hand.
Your team might need to help you out. We might need to work on the parallel parking. We got some golf carts out here. We can work on it?
Okay, you have to give me some tips.
Yeah, so like just competing at that level is crazy, and then doing the same thing and hitting your mark every single time. I think people look at it like, oh, well, I can turn left, or I can hit a ball, but like, when you're doing it with the best people in the world, it's a completely different level.
Well, they don't also realize how much better they are. And I always talk about that when I explain professional golf, because people always say, oh, you didn't make it, you must not be very good. And I can go to any driving range and be the best player there. There's such a big jump to playing professional golf, and the courses are harder. You're playing against the best in the world. The list goes on and on and on, and it doesn't feel like that big of a jump, but it is a massive, massive jump. And then just to make it on tour, and then to make it to top 100 and top 50 and top 10 and number one, it's massive, and people just don't realize the amount of effort and how hard they work and what goes into it and how difficult it is. And it's not just something like a round of golf with your buddies or driving your car at a top speed. Like, there's so much more that goes into it.
These two sports might be the only two that you can do at the pro level for a long time, but you might not ever win. And that's something that, like, sticking ball, you're gonna, the Lions might go 0-16, but they won a preseason game, or they won the next year, or they won the year before. Like, these two sports, you might not ever win.
And not only that, you're alone.
Yeah, it's just you.
It's just
you and your mind.
It's just you and your mind. And like, when you're having a bad day, they can't just take you out of the car or take you out of the golf course. Like, you have to fight through it. And I think that's why you see the bigger cases in golf and in driving, because it's like, you just got to figure it out. And if you you're not confident in yourself and you can't fight through it, what are you gonna do?
100%.
You can't just walk off.
You can't just walk off. All right, so before I let you go, let's do a couple of quick hitter questions. Okay. All right. What is your favorite thing about golf?
I would say, for me, I love short game. So hitting a really amazing short game shot is something that's that I love. But besides that, the people that I get to meet. I get to meet you today through golf, and that's something that's really exciting.
What, outside of golf, what's your favorite thing to do?
I live a very boring life. I have a dog. I love my dog, so taking my dog on long walks. Long walks with the dog. That's the dog that you have. It's the heck cover.
It's a very, very
realistic.
We're gonna have to get a video of that, because it's a very realistic.
People are freaked out when they see it. I'm like, it's not real. Don't worry.
What was your favorite moment on the golf course?
I would say, that's a tough one. I would say competitive was when I was playing at San Diego State University, and we won our Mountain West Conference Championship. It was the first time in women's golf history that we did that, and that was my senior year, which was really exciting. Besides competitive, I would say I'm gonna regret saying this, but I grew up as a huge Jonas Brothers fan, and I got to play golf with Nick Jonas.
Okay.
And I was like holding it together, but that was one of those moments where I was like, I can't believe that golf and what I'm doing has led me here, because like 12-year-old, 13-year-old me was, you know, such a big fan. I never thought that would be something that would happen.
Okay. If you could pick any group of 4 to play golf with, who would
Yeah.
it be?
I get asked this question all the
I feel like all
time.
the time.
Yeah, and I always used to say like Justin Timberlake and Nick Jonas,
Yeah.
and I've played with them now, which has been so cool.
Yeah, which is cool, but then you've done it. And
Yeah,
now
I've
it's like,
done it,
okay, now
and
I need
I've played
someone
with so many really amazing entertainers, but the rounds that I look back on that I remember and that I've learned so much were playing with pros.
Yeah.
Like I played with Darren Clark at another Champions Tour Pro-Am, and it was one of the most enjoyable rounds of golf that I've ever had, and I learned so much, and he gave so many interesting tips. And so I always like to pick golfers. And Tiger Woods, I've never played with Tiger. He's given me a chipping lesson once, and it was amazing.
How cool is that?
I don't usually get nervous or I was shaking. He has this presence that I can't even describe. It is like he walks in and like like the atmosphere changes.
It's different.
Like smoke appears.
He's a goat human, right? Like he's like when I gave Shaquille O'Neal on my birthday my custom painted.
He's so cool.
He's so awesome.
How big are his hands?
Like
5 of.
Yeah, huge. And his arm is just a huge person. I gave him my custom painted Kobe Bryant helmet that I wore in my first ever NASCAR start.
That's so cool.
And I gave it to him this year. And like to your point, I don't really get starstruck,
Yeah.
but Shaq was the first basketball jersey I ever had. I was like, hey man, do you want this? Like, so it's so cool. And my last question is, I heard you have a debate on what and how you have a hot dog. Like you don't like to put any condiments on it.
So, you know how you say content is queen?
I
am the queen of hot dogs. And I am now known for my hot dog content. I really have no reason why people enjoy it so much. But for every 4th of July, I will always do, like the first year I did how many hot dogs I could eat in 10 minutes. Still scarred to this day from that. I cannot do timed hot dog eating. And then the next way was how many ways you could eat a hot dog. There are many ways that you can eat a hot dog. And then this year I did a debate on how to dress up your hot dog. You know, is it ketchup? Is it mustard? Is it ketchup and mustard? I hate to say it, I hate a Chicago style hot dog. Not my favorite. A lot of people really love that one, but people are going with ketchup and mustard. That's the way you gotta go.
That's the way ketchup
I
and
love
mustard.
ketchup only, but that's a no-go. That's like having pineapple on pizza. Like people put that in the same category. They hate it.
That's how I eat them because I don't like all the extra
It
stuff.
sounds like a little kid way to eat it.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
I'm a kid at heart.
but like, why do you care?
Yeah. I read at a 6th grade level, okay? I'm a kid.
Just
listen,
let me eat my hot dogs in peace.
before I let you go, I heard that you love sunflowers, and these actually fit your. So I just wanted to make sure. I know. Love.
Oh,
Thanks for coming to hang out.
thanks for having me.
Appreciate
This is
it.
beautiful. What a moment.
What a moment. I will say we're the 2 best dressed, without question.
I mean, you definitely beat me.
No, I don't think so.
But next year, I know that you're coming in hot with this, so
Yeah.
I will step it up.
Yeah, this is the last time I wore this at the Daytona 500.
I need to make my way out there.
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't been to a NASCAR race.
You know what? You want to come to Champ Week? It's in Phoenix.
I want to
November.
come to that for sure.
Officially invited.
I'm inviting myself, so you just have to accept at this point.
I accept, and I'll give you the best tour of your life.
Cool.
It'll be the greatest experience. Have your friends come.
I'll bring hot
family.
dogs.
Bring hot dogs.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go to Martinsville. We have a famous Martinsville hot dog there in Virginia.
I'll go anywhere hot dogs
We're going to
are.
do a couple races. Hot dogs, thank you so much.
Great job, guys.
I mean, just crushed it.
I didn't know we were going to go that